So first off, because you're a big crowd today, who is here with a good friend today? Oh, wow. Are you all good friends? Maybe. Who's here with a life partner? Anyone who dared? Oh, great. Okay. Well, oh boy, I feel so sorry for you. You don't know. Because probably you did not wake up this morning and you thought, gosh, we woke up under here. That's great, because every morning we do. We wake up there, underneath that thin green line. And then goes the day and we go, oh God. And the world is in big trouble, that world that you're seeing there. Big trouble. And you know what the biggest problem is that the world has right now? There is no telepathy. There is no telepathy, right? I mean, we're trying very hard. And I know it. All of you who are here with friends and family today, right? You tried it this morning. You're sitting at home in the kitchen. You just say, he's going to pass me the butter. I know it. But just look at him. And then he's taking out the trash. Probably. No. Okay. Well, we're trying, right? Every day we do things and we just try to imagine how we can make the other one understand, because it's so obvious. Is it not obvious what I want? How come you don't understand? But, the biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has actually happened. Which is funny, because there's many researchers in the world, just like Becky Lau, and she in 2022 did a research that she called Extreme Illusion of Understanding. She based her research on, friends that were talking to each other, but they didn't speak the same language at that moment. Yeah, funny enough. More than half of those participants believed that they completely understood what the other one was saying. So it's about our perception, what we think is actually being understood very often, right? So this whole concept, we are trying to make someone understand. We think in the morning, we do, and then things happen, and no. For some reason, we lose that touch. And there have been many researchers studying that problem, especially also for speakers, right? They say that systematically, speakers overestimate how effective their communication is. And most probably for TEDx speakers, right? We always believe that somehow we'll make you understand. And you know the basic principle. So there's someone talking and we need someone listening. Very simple, shouldn't be that tricky, right? But then things happen. So let me put it in a very simple way, what is happening in communication. You make up your mind. And here I should stop, because that's a big problem, right? Making up your mind what you actually want. So you make up your mind, let's say, and you grasp a thought, and you have it. And you grasp that thought, and you say, oh, I'm going to serve that, right? And you think about how you want to do it, and you're preparing yourself, and you're shooting that thought, and you just go, there's no one in the goal listening. Like, how often does that happen? You're so fine, right? You know exactly what you want, you convey it, and the other one just does not listen. But even if there was someone listening, there's other research that states, and now, this is why I feel with you, to those who are here with friends and family today, there is studies that say, well, even if the speaker is great and someone else is listening very actively, no matter what that speaker is saying, the other one, maybe that, is going, yeah, I know what you mean, but they make something completely new out of your trail of thoughts, right? So that is actually worse with friends. Sorry. Yeah, well, what to do then? Because wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice for all of us if we just had telepathy? You think about something and the other one goes, there's the butter. Sure, honey, all good, right? But we don't. And it's a great impact on how we live with each other. Because since we do not have that, we all suffer from misunderstandings. We suffer from fights. We suffer from, you don't do what I want, kind of situations. So there's two options, really. In order for us to have telepathy, or something similar, to make other people understand, and we finally know what they want, even though I'm not really quite sure if I want to know what other people really want, so I don't know. So there's two options you have. And you wish for it. Please, please understand me. Or you actually change the way you communicate. Simple, right? So for 10 years, I have been teaching international and European astronauts what they have to do while they are on board of the International Space Station, which was lots of fun, right? And while I was doing that, I was teaching spacecraft systems. Never did I think that in my job, while I was teaching Chris Hadfield and Tim Peake and you name all the other ones that were flying, that my job somehow was more about communication. I'm a physicist. I studied physics. I like the theory part. You know, I love cables and all of that stuff. That's cool. Communication, soft skill. But there's really a great lesson when you start teaching astronauts. All of these guys and girls that fly to space right now, they have certain things in common. You won't believe it, but they're like you and me. They're really normal people, cool people, like to party, great folks, right? They cannot do telepathy. Tried it, doesn't work, not possible, right? And yeah, they never fight. You might want to question that, don't you? Really? Well, if they're normal, if they're just like me, they fight. Don't get me wrong. I said, no, but really, have you ever heard in the news about a fight on any space station? Not really. Have you? I haven't, definitely. And I can tell you, no, there are no fights on the space station. There could be two reasons for it. Well, anyone could think maybe people are just not interested in fights in 0G. Where I think, have you seen Matrix or Matrix Reloaded? How cool it would be to have a fight in 0G. I mean, it would be as cool as, playing soccer in 0G like they did. Just cool moves. So can't be that. It is because they are not fighting. Lame, but true. Okay, Laura, honestly, they must be superheroes. I say, no, only when it's Halloween. Right? But then, really, what is it? How, please, for the love of God, I really want to, have quiet time along the kitchen table. What is it that they have? I said, okay, there is one thing that makes them superhuman. And it's about what they learned and what they carry with them in a kind of a toolbox. And for you to understand what that one thing is, you need to understand a little bit better how we train them before they actually go on a mission. I mean, they look super cool. I mean, they're wearing a helmet, for God's sake, right? Great. Who could ever question that? That's already something. But that's not, of course, the trick. Everyone believes that when you are becoming an astronaut, anyways, you're born to be an astronaut. You're born to be up in space. But the true life of astronauts is sitting with people like me, listening for 8 hours a day for 3 entire years, how in the world this machine up there works. And that's tiresome. So for 3 years, we're preparing them, and we do not have time. I get my crew for a week maybe, and then I have to send them off. I don't have time to waste. So there's one thing that as I was taught to enhance how efficient communication works and how we can boost team performance during training. And that's how we deliver feedback. Feedback, you go like, okay, now I'm leaving, bye. No, not talking about that, don't want to hear about that. It's lame, but it's not. Think about it, hear me out, right? Feedback. When you have something in your mind, now that I say the word, and I ask you a question, do people like feedback? You can answer. Be on the audio, try it, it's nice. Do people like feedback? No, hell no. But why not? Why do people not like feedback? You said it right. Because it's criticism. Laura, don't tell me anything different. I tell you, sorry that you think of it like that. Because yes, people do believe that feedback is criticism, but that is because, perfection, all of that, what we think, we doubt ourselves and we blame other people and we just do not want to make a mistake and all of that. But this is from another TED Talk, so I'm not going to share that with you today. You can listen to that later. But hear me out, feedback. There are rules to it that make it nothing like criticism. Feedback, if you really do it right, in the morning at the kitchen table, feedback should be, asking for permission. If you have something that's really annoying to you, please go to that person and say, do you actually have time right now? And that person could say, no, because I know what you want. But maybe in 10 minutes. I say, that's cool. But in 10 minutes, I'm going to criticize. Not give you feedback, right? So you ask for permission. How difficult is that, right? You start with a question. So when you did that this morning, right, this annoying thing, remember, yeah? How did you feel doing that? Because it was really annoying. Please stop it. Right? There is rules. And I'm not going to elaborate on rules for feedback, because if you're really interested in it, please come and find me. I'm going to teach it to you, and you will love it, and you will not have those fights anymore in the morning. But there's something way more important about feedback. Feedback should always have one common goal, because it's not criticism. When you tell someone about something that you found annoying, what I hear in people very often is, I'm gonna get you. But you shouldn't. Because you should have that feedback out, and you should be reaching, and you should say, because I need to live with you, and I really want to live with you, I'm gonna make our situation much better. So listen to me. Feedback is there to give correction. Not correction like in school, but for a common path. So it's a little bit like when I'm in my helicopter, having a great time like tomorrow. Constantly, I cannot let go of my controls. I cannot, because it's fun. I can do things with helicopters. But it's necessary, because there's wind and there's things happening and there's birds and other helicopters and people, you name it. So you constantly have to correct somehow where you're going, because you need to land somewhere, because fuel, right? So constantly you're pushing a little bit on your controls. And giving feedback is like, just gently pushing those controls. But there's one essential thing missing in that list. And I let you read it just for now. Maybe you come up with it. There's one very, very important thing missing. Whenever you talk to someone, and it's not easy, right, to give someone feedback. I'll help you. It should be objective, right? Every time you do this, always in my face, No, it should be objective. You should be removed from the situation. It should be depersonalized. Lame, Laura. That's not interesting. Yes, but it's necessary. Because now comes the important point, because I do know that we love to, when we know we are right, we just want to let the other one know. So now I'm giving you that point where now you can complain. Because feedback is objective. The only way how it can be objective is that before something happened, you gave out an expectation level. You told that person, if you do that again, I'm going to leave you. Comes the time he does it again, oh well, right, you said it. No, it's expectation level. And it's something that people miss down here. We do like to criticize, yes. Some people actually know pretty well how to give feedback and how to work with other people. But when you're in space and you're up in that can for probably 6 months, maybe longer, and with 5 other people, you better don't get in a fight, because you cannot go outside to chill off, right? So in the beginning, we sit down, our crew during training, and the crew sits themselves down before they fly. And they let everyone know, look, with all my heart, this is what I want from you. This is the rules we're going to live by. And if you can't follow them, well, there will be consequences for all of us. And that is true not only for astronauts, that's true for each and every one of us. No matter how big your team is, you might be sitting just in your family this morning, or you might be going on and guiding a team next week that is much bigger. It's your responsibility not to give them feedback and bash them, to just enhance their team performance. Before you start off, before you get your business card, the first time you get it, super regional manager, it's your utter responsibility to set expectation levels right. Because there's just one thing. Ideally, all managers should be leaders. And leading has nothing to do with, this is what I want, this is how I want you to do it. No. Common goal. We have a common goal up there. Everyone who flies knows they all belong to a big group, and they're not there to serve their purpose, but mankind's purpose. Big goal. So it leaves the question, do we actually have a boss on the International Space Station? What do you think? Yes. Who is it? Who is the boss? Not there, taking the picture maybe. No. Okay. No spoiler, we don't. Because we do not have that manager attitude. It's a leader attitude. It's a leader's attitude that we need down here. So when you woke up this morning, I'm sure you didn't think about me, didn't think about where you woke up. Oh, maybe that, right? No, who's that? Okay, no. But you didn't think about where. Every morning when you wake up, all of us, everyone you know, everyone you don't know, wakes up underneath that thin green line. And I don't know about you, I really do not like when people cannot convey what they have in their mind and get along. So there's a long sequence of things that we could all do for our common goal, which is saving that and getting along better. And I only gave you now that very, very first essential little trick out of our toolbox. When you go home tonight, write down expectation levels and do talk about it. Thank you.